So I've been undergoing Lacanian analysis weekly for about 8 months now, and I just wanted to share my experience coming from a 21-year-old. I'll be going through my experience, so the monthly costs, the famous variable length sessions, the transference, and the counter-transference, and my overall realizations throughout the sessions. So just a little background on me. I have been interested in analysis for about 3 years now. My interest started by studying Jungian analysis deeply, and for the longest time, I thought I'd end up with a Jungian analyst, mainly because I'm a visual artist and I have a strong resonance with mythology and art. But as time progressed, my studies slowly shifted from Jung to the OG Freud to then Lacan. At first, I started to look for Jungian analysts close to where I live, but the ones that I found either had high session rates or they did not specialize, like specifically in Jungian analysis. It was always like an extra service that they had, or like a side thing. So I said, "Fuck that! Might as well fall into the world of Lacan," as troublesome as it is. So I went back on the good old Google and I stumbled upon a website called It's Complicated, or like It's a Complicated Life, or something like that, that had a wide range of analysts. There weren't many Jungian analysts. I think I found one or two, but the rest were traditional Freudians, which I was also interested in. But I did find one Lacanian. So I booked my first session in January 2023. So for every session, let me just bring it up here. So I keep a notebook with me for every session to keep track of all the, all the notes, all the realizations for every month. For every session. But it does get hard. Like, it gets hard to write things down, especially when, you start free associating and, there's a bunch of stuff, going in your mind. I don't know. I do remember, at least though, for the first few sessions in the beginning, I had a very hard time starting. I did not know how to begin, or I didn't know what to say, talk about what. There was always a sense of resistance at first, or hesitation to not know what to speak about. So I'd start off honestly trying to just fill the silence left by my analyst. And for the first two sessions, I had my camera on. So these were virtual sessions. So I had my camera on, and I would pick up the facial expressions and the slight reactions from my analyst, and that would kind of interfere how the sessions would turn out. But then we switched to cameras off, and honestly, it felt like the couch. It was easier to free associate and speak my mind without the fear of seeing the other person's reaction or judgment. The second month, and the months that came after that too, so up until now, I felt more comfortable starting the sessions. I realized it did not matter where I started, and there was always some insight onto why I started with what I said, how I said it, the things that came up to my mind while saying it. This was also when I started to open up more, maybe not consciously, but there was one session where I broke down crying, as we all do, and it was one of the first times where I did not get reassured. Usually when someone breaks down crying, say, "Oh no, it's okay," Didn't get none of that. And of course, this was transference. I expected the analyst to play the role of the mother, and comfort me. But I was left with a mirror. Just a pure reflection of myself. The analyst did not really help me in regards to that at all, and I had a strong desire for reassurance, and I find that the way that the analyst responded, honestly, to be overall better, and through this process, I was somewhat detaching from those rooted desires, that is, like acceptance and reassurance from parental and authoritative figures. You know, at work, I'm always easygoing with the boss. At home, always listening to the Dukes. Um, but there was another instance where I was going off on a tangent, and basically, I said, like, it's for the sake of art, literature, and philosophy, that I see myself as a good son, a good brother, a good worker, a good student, a good person. And I just kept saying, like, good, good, good. I kept repeating, that word, good, good, good. And shortly after, the analyst repeated the emphasis. She just repeated the emphasis on good, good, good. But what I heard was good, good, good. So again, the transference hit. I mainly wanted to be praised and reassured and stuff, but I quickly realized that that was not what she said. And I felt like a child, that I even thought she meant that. It was very humbling and very revealing. There was another instance where I was left with the silence of the session, and it was slowly becoming unbearable. I poured my heart out into what I was saying, and I asked the analyst, is what I'm doing good? Is what I'm doing bad? Am I a good person for behaving and thinking like this, or am I a bad person? And again, I was left with silence. After the analyst spoke and asked, she said, "Are you familiar with Nietzsche's Death of God?" And I replied, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, 100%." And then she replied, "Most people, when reading that passage, they think that with the death of God comes absolute freedom. But what they don't think about is that with the death of God comes the death of judgment." And honestly, that was one of the biggest moments in analysis for me. The fact that analysis and life, a little bit, is similar to art, as in, like, it's beyond morality. And with the death of God comes the abyss of solitude, and the consequences of your own actions, and it reminds me of Crime and Punishment. You're left with the guilt and of your own actions, and you deal with that. I'll speak a little bit about countertransference, and pretty much that's it. So there were times where, like, the analyst would, she would try to corner me into saying one answer, not one answer, but like, it's like, "Oh, did you mean this?" Like, "Oh, this word almost sounds like this," you know. Sometimes it would really hit, and my notebook is filled with like, words that sound like other words that do hit, and I have strong associations with those words. But sometimes, it's very hit or miss. So sometimes I would have no associations, and I think that for these instances, it was countertransference, and there were her thoughts and not mine. Well, overall, like, I'm still gonna continue doing analysis. I'm very happy that I started. It's kind of like it's shedding a new light now when I read like psychoanalytic literature, with the lens of being an analysand, and it comes really clutch reading Lacan, because like from what I know, his seminars are, he's speaking to graduates and who are either students of like who are going to become analysts, or they're already analysts. So reading the texts like that, it like it facilitates the understanding when you're in analysis, and you can kind of see like the practical usage, and it's not strictly theoretical. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Let me know what you guys think. I'm down to go deeper. And yeah, whoever wants to chat too, feel free to message, and I'm down to talk about my experience. Anyways, peace out.